समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या? समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
There's outrage over the India-Pakistan face-off that just took place in Dubai as part of the Asia Cup. Remember, Operation Sindoor, the war between India and Pakistan, is not officially over. It is, by the government's own statement, on pause. The victims of the Pahalgam terror attack had been urging the BCCI and the government to not allow this match to go ahead. Go ahead it did, with its share of high voltage drama. Surya Kumar Yadav made a speech in solidarity with the victims of the Pahalgam terror attack and India's armed forces. Pakistan has now lodged an official complaint about the refusal of the Indian team and the Indian skipper to shake hands with his Pakistani counterpart. This is not the last time that India may face off against Pakistan in the Asia Cup. And the debate continues. Who's responsible for this match going ahead? The players? Nobody quite thinks so. The Board of Cricket Control? Almost everybody agrees. But what about the government? Did it read the room wrong? Why did it not stop in to stop this match? And then there are others who believe that this is not realistic, that there are going to be multilateral tournaments, not just in cricket, but in other sports, and how far can you carry this demand? We'll try and make sense of the controversy around the Asia Cup. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. These images from Dubai are unlike any that we have seen in an India-Pakistan face-off. For one, there were actually empty chairs in the auditorium. For two, there were no fireworks, no celebrations after India beat Pakistan. Most Indians, irrespective of your political persuasion, actually believe that this match should not take place. There's no consistency in taking a position that the war is only halted, it's not over. That there should be no other connections on a people-to-people level between India and Pakistan. But given the sorrow and the tragedy of the Pahalgam victims, why did this match take place at all? This is what many Indians across the aisle, many of these demands and criticisms were led by supporters of the government. This is the question that most people are asking. The match took place, India won, but the debate rages on. Surya Kumar Yadav dedicated the win in commemoration and solidarity with those who were killed by terrorists in Pahalgam and in solidarity with India's armed forces. There were no handshakes and the door of the dressing room was shut as well. But beyond this, the larger question still persists. Why was the match allowed to take place? What are we going to do the next time India has to face off against Pakistan? Is Operation Sindoor so easily forgotten when it comes to cricket? And is it all about the money, honey, when it comes to the BCCI? Let me introduce our guests on the program today as we look at what went down in Dubai. Yashovardhan Azad is with us. He's, of course, a veteran IPS officer. He's been with the Intelligence Bureau. I don't know how many of you know that in a past moment when things were different between India and Pakistan, Mr. Azad was tasked with organizing the security of the Indian team as it traveled to Pakistan. I think those years we're not going to see for a long time. But should we have seen what happened in Dubai? We'll find out. Ashwini Shahi, leader of the BJP, is with us. The ministers in the Modi government have explained why the match had to take place, and we'll play out their statements in a moment from now. Also joining us is one of India's most experienced sports administrators. Joy Bhattacharya is with us. He has been associated with the Under-17 World Cup. He's also been with the KKR team. And he had a very interesting comment on social media, basically saying that the question India has to ask ourselves is that when we call for boycotts, do we actually gain advantage, or are we in the end, or at least our sports people, the eventual losers? So more on that in a moment. And then one of the biggest advocates calling for a boycott. He's been relentless on social media. He's been running hashtag campaigns asking for a boycott. He wanted to sit on a dharna. That didn't, I guess the permissions didn't quite work out, but he's been a very, very, unlike himself, angry voice on this issue. Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, usually a Congress supporter. I'm not sure where the politics comes in, because actually there's been a bipartisan demand, I would say, among people at least, for this match not to have taken place at all. I want to start by playing out Surya Kumar Yadav's comments right after India beat Pakistan, and then we'll open up the conversation. Take a look.
Just wanted to say something. I think it's a perfect occasion, and taking the time out. We stand by with the victims of the families of Pahalgam terror attack, and we express our solidarity. And also, most important thing for me, we want to dedicate today's win to all our armed forces who showed a lot of bravery, and they hope they continue to inspire us all, and we give them more reasons on the ground whenever we get an opportunity to make them smile. Thank you.
So Tehseen, I'll start with you, having been a relentless advocate on this issue. Do you agree with how Surya Kumar Yadav handled the situation? There are those who are saying कि या तो खेलना नहीं चाहिए था, और खेलोगे तो हाथ तो मिलाओ, या खेलो ही मत. Or do you feel that the players are in an impossible situation? Because honestly, how much autonomy do they have to make any choices here?
Thank you so much for having me, Barkha. And yes, to the last part of your question, how much autonomy do the players have to make any decision? So that's not possible for them. The BCCI, which is a nepotistic organization, an elite VVIP club with politicians across party lines and their nepotistic kids, and I'm not talking about one politician, everybody running this corrupt organization are the ones who are responsible. I get that Jai Shah is the face of it, but everybody, Dhumal's son, Jyotiraditya Scindia ji's son, Rohit Pawar, Vaibhav Gehlot, all of them across party lines go in there. So it is an organization meant for nepotistic kids. Arun Jaitley ji's son. Let me come to the organization as well. There are three aspects broadly that people talk about. One, should geopolitics and sports be mixed? That's the first thing everybody says. And those who advocate against the ban say it shouldn't be mixed. May I tell you, the PCB chief, the Asian Cricket Council president, and the Federal Interior Minister of Pakistan, equivalent to the Home Minister of Pakistan, wants India nuked. That's not mixing. That's Mohsin Naqvi. That's Mohsin Naqvi. Present-day Pakistan cricketers were putting up memes of our women being enslaved by the Pakistan army and them putting sindoor in their head. That's the meme. Yes, out there. That's not mixing the two things up. They're cricket analysts. I've seen Joy. I respect Joy. I've seen his work with KKR. But Joy won't talk what their analysts talk. They want the Pakistan cricket team to break down the Somnath Mandir. This is a country, a filth of a country that led missiles on the Golden Temple and on Mata Vaishno Devi. Their mindset is like that, right? Shahid Afridi, their ex-cricketer, was removing rallies. Hold it, in support of the terrorists who carried out Pahalgam. Again, let me remind your viewers what Pahalgam was. 200 kilometers into India came terrorists, trained by the Pak army. They checked the IDs, they checked the penises, opened the pants, made people recite the kalma and shot them dead in the head. That is as brutal as Pakistan gets. And my Prime Minister told us in Parliament, as you rightly said, Operation Sindoor is only paused, it's not over. And few days ago, our brave CRPF men were again martyred by terrorists trained by the Pakistan army or Pakistan establishment. Now, the second argument is the revenue argument. BCCI doesn't even make revenue. On the contrary, do you know PCBs ended up making yesterday 34-35 crore rupees thanks to us? You really think this money is going to be used for cricket, or it's going to be used for bullets? For every ball that is played, a bullet is shot at an Indian, or a potential bullet is shot at an Indian. And to the third point that the argument is made about, what about multilateral tournaments? Let me just give you two examples. Recently, we had the Asia Cup hockey. The Asia Cup hockey, Pakistan boycotted it in India, saying India is not safe. Can you imagine how shameless a nation they are? But even in this tournament, by the way, India is the host. The reason this tournament is being played in UAE is because Pakistan refused to come to India. So if Pakistan can show a spine, it is important that India not allow Pakistan to benefit.
So who do you blame for this fact that this match took place?
From the politicians across party line, of course, the government of India, because they are responsible. They control BCCI as much as they'll tell us BCCI is autonomous, to the BCCI. The BCCI is a shameless organization that has played with the emotions of the people of India. Therefore, yesterday's stadiums were half empty. And when the numbers come out, Barkha, you will be surprised. The numbers will not be so much of people tuning in.
Okay. Before I come to Ashwini Shahi ji of the BJP, Kiran Rijiju, minister in the Modi government, was asked, why did the government not intervene and stop this match? And this is what he said. Take a look.
ये जो इसका सोच है अपोजिशन पार्टी का हर समय राजनीति करने का, वो ठीक नहीं है। और जहां तक ये जो क्रिकेट खेला है, ये पाकिस्तान इंडिया का बायलैटरल खेल नहीं है, एशिया कप है। उसमें अगर इंडिया नहीं खेलेंगे तो इंडिया ऐसे आउट हो जाएगा। और ओलंपिक्स, एशिया कप पाकिस्तान के लिए नहीं होता है, वो पूरा देशों के लिए होता है। पाकिस्तान का साथ तो भारत ने कोई मैच खेला ही नहीं है, कोई बायलैटरल पाकिस्तान में भी गया नहीं है, पाकिस्तान को अलग से बुलाया नहीं है। ये जैसे कि ओलंपिक्स में अगर किसी देश से हमारे दुश्मनी है, उसका वजह से हम ओलंपिक नहीं जाएंगे तो नुकसान किसका होगा? तो इसलिए इसको समझना है। सेंटीमेंट सही है, लेकिन सेंटीमेंट के पीछे जो एक रैशनल थिंकिंग होना चाहिए कि भारत अलग से कहां पाकिस्तान के साथ बायलैटरल मैच खेल रहे हैं। लेकिन ओलंपिक्स, एशियन गेम्स, एशियन चैंपियनशिप, वर्ल्ड कप, एशिया कप, इस तरह का जो टूर्नामेंट होता है वो बहुराष्ट्र होते हैं, वो मल्टीलेटरल होते हैं, सारा राष्ट्र मिलकर खेलते हैं उसमें, वो अलग से पाकिस्तान इंडिया का खेल नहीं है।
So the government there stressing the point that in multilateral tournaments, you cannot actually walk away. Eventually, this will start impacting you in sports other than cricket. अश्विनी जी, लेकिन एक प्रॉब्लम है और तकलीफ ये है कि बाकी सब स्पेसेस में हम लोग कहते हैं कि कोई भी ओवरलैप नहीं होना चाहिए। दिलजीत दोसांझ हैं, उनको बॉयकॉट कॉल्स अगेंस्ट हिम बिकॉज ऑफ हिज एसोसिएशन विद द पाकिस्तानी आर्टिस्ट। हम सिनेमा में कहते हैं कोई इंटरेक्शन नहीं होना चाहिए, हम कहते हैं कि बाकी किसी स्पेस में इंटरेक्शन। भाई क्रिकेट इतना जरूरी क्यों है? आप क्या कहेंगे इसमें अश्विनी जी?
बरखा जी, देखिए, खेल तो खेल है। कैसे पूरे देश में अभी कैसे खेल खेला गया है, सबको दिखाई दे रहा है कि क्या खेल खेला जा रहा है। मैंने क्रिकेट की बात नहीं, मैंने पूरे देश को खेल की बात कही कि चाहे वो ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के वो हो, चाहे बाकी और चीजें, सारा खेल खेला जा रहा है जो राजनीतिक रूप से खेला जा रहा है। क्रिकेट हुआ अभी, देखिए, हमारे माननीय मंत्री जी ने बताया और कई लोगों के बयान आए हैं और सच्चाई भी है कि पूरा देश जो है दो खेमों में बटा हुआ है, होना चाहिए नहीं होना चाहिए, सबके साथ है। खेल में रेवेन्यू की कोई बात नहीं थी, जो रेवेन्यू का मामला आपने उठाया, रेवेन्यू की कोई बात नहीं है कि रेवेन्यू खेल होगा तो रेवेन्यू जनरेट होगा, रेवेन्यू जनरेट होगा तो सबको मिलेगा, चाहे खिलाड़ी हो चाहे जो भी उस देश को मिलेगा। मगर एक जो ये एक हमको तो लग रहा है काफी कई साल हो गए, हमको लग रहा है दशकों हो गए जब भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच में जो है बायलैटरल कोई सीरीज नहीं हुई है और किसी दूसरे देश में जाकर खेलने पर कोई रोक भी नहीं है। जहां तक मुझे याद आता है कि 26/11 हुआ था, उसके बाद चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी खेली गई थी। 25 दिसंबर 12 को एक प्रोग्राम घोषित किया गया था, 3 ODI और 2 T20 का। तो उस समय की सरकारों को जो है, जो सरकार थी, तो उनको ये दिक्कत नहीं हुई थी क्या कि क्यों खेला जा रहा है? उस समय क्या रेवेन्यू नहीं जा रहा था? अच्छा,
वो आपका सवाल ठीक है। मैंने बहुत से बीजेपी सपोर्टर्स के आज कमेंट्स देखे कि कांग्रेस के टाइम बायलैटरल इनफैक्ट फेस ऑफ्स हुए थे, लेकिन बीजेपी तो अपने आप को कांग्रेस से बेहतर मानती है ना इस डिपार्टमेंट में। ऑन द इश्यू ऑफ नेशनलिज्म, the BJP has always said it is a stronger party than the Congress. Why have you gone down this route?
तो क्या बरखा जी, अगर भाजपा बेहतर मानती है तो क्या कांग्रेस को इसके लिए माफ कर देना चाहिए और उनका विरोध झेलना चाहिए? हमको किस मुंह से विरोध कर रहे हैं जब अपने नहीं दिया? और दूसरी चीज बता रहे हो, रेवेन्यू की बात पर मैं बता रहा हूं, 26/11 का हमला हुआ, तो असीन भाई ध्यान से सुनिएगा थोड़ा सा, आपके लिए है। 600 करोड़ रुपए आप लोगों ने सहायता दिया था पाकिस्तान को, रेवेन्यू। और जिसको मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, एसएम कृष्णा साहब ने सदन में बताया था कि 600 करोड़, एसएम कृष्णा साहब विदेश मंत्री थे, और जाकर आप चेक कर लीजिएगा, आप लोगों के पास टीम भी है। 600 करोड़ रुपए की सहायता पाकिस्तान को क्यों दी गई थी? वो क्या गोला बारूद बम नहीं खरीदते? 188 लोग मरे थे मुंबई में हमारे, उनके आतंकियों के द्वारा। उसके बाद सहायता क्यों दी गई? ये खेल है, खेल खेला गया। वो ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में पटकनी दी गई थी, और उस पटकनी के बाद कल एक मैदान पर पटकनी दी गई है। ये स्थिति उसको खेल में दौड़ा कर, जो जिस तरीके से कहा गया है कि कल हमारे खिलाड़ियों ने जज्बा दिखाते हुए मैदान पर भी उनको शिकस्त दिया, और उनको ये बताया जानते हुए कि हाथ नहीं मिलाऊंगा, तुमको शिकस्त देने हम यहां भी आए थे, जैसे ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में शिकस्त दिया। और वो पूरा, आज देखिए किस तरीके से पाकिस्तानी जो चैनल आप देखिए किस तरीके से मिमिया रहे हैं लोग, और वही भाषा क्या हमारे हिंदुस्तान के लोग भी बोलेंगे? क्रिकेट होना, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सरकार में अगर क्रिकेट हो गया तो नेपोटिज्म बीसीसीआई में है। शरद पवार साहब उस समय थे, और उस समय के लोग, कलमाड़ी साहब हुआ करते थे, चीजों को खेल देखते थे, तो नेपोटिज्म नहीं हुआ करता था उस समय। तो एकदम सन्यासी हरिश्चंद्र जी की जो वो पद्धति चलती थी, आज नेपोटिज्म हो गया है जी।
नहीं, there have always been politicians. It doesn't matter which party is in power in the management of sporting federations. It's one of those things that there is one complete agreement between all parties on. तो मैं यहाँ पे बिल्कुल आपको ये नहीं कहूंगी कि ये सिर्फ बीजेपी के टाइम पे हो रहा है. And in fact, there is a very senior Congress leader involved in this decision making, and his name is Rajiv Shukla. So please let us not forget this. This is not a Congress BJP thing when it comes to the BCCI.
उन्हें तहसीन भाई ने नेपोटिज्म की बात कही, तो मैंने एक लाइन का जवाब दिया था उनको जी.
ठीक है. Now we've heard the political perspective. I just want to bring in Joy and Yasho in at this point. You see, those who say sports and politics, they cannot overlap. They have overlapped always. In history, sports and politics have always overlapped. If we look no further than now, Russia after its attack on Ukraine has actually been, the IOC has kept the ban on Russia ahead of the Winter Games. Russia has had to sit out the World Athletic Championships. So let us not say that this doesn't happen. This happens. Countries that have more flex are able to get countries banned. I understand that, you know, there's a difference. The entire Western world has put its might against, against Russia and keeping Russia out of these championships, but it happens. And it is happening even now. So Joy, I'll start with you and then I'll come to Yasho, because you said on X today, how far are we going to take this? Tomorrow, if Neeraj Chopra wants to do a javelin throw, are you going to tell him not to do it just because Nadeem from Pakistan is there? In the end, the loser will be India. Explain and elaborate your point of view.
See, I have a very simple point of view on this. In fact, I'll start with something General Patton said many years back about, about patriotism. So he said a very simple thing. He said patriotism is, and I'm paraphrasing this, is not about dying for your country. It's making sure the other guy's soldier dies for his. So my simple principle is that if you do not like what Pakistan is doing, let's be smart about this. If there is a situation where you can say you have the ability to put together a band which is large enough. Remember, South Africa, the bans against South Africa didn't work because we didn't play them in the Davis Cup in 1974. It worked because they were not allowed to participate in the Olympics. The cricket tour stopped immediately. The rugby tour stopped immediately. And that is putting pressure on a country. One country is stopping them. They're going to play the Asia Cup anyway. The rest of the countries will play because they're contracted to. So my point is, be very smart and tactical about this. The second thing is, at this point in time, we are trying to build ourselves as a sporting country. We are bidding for the 2036 Olympics. We are looking at 2030. Now, there's a large amount of things that the International Olympic Association looks at. There are a variety of things that they look at to do. One is about what your track record has been, how well you maintained your stadium, what is your social impact, how is this games going to be funded. But it also looks at how we behave. We cannot be seen to say that, okay, today we'll play a tournament, tomorrow we won. And I want to start off by saying that 1999, June 8, India played Pakistan in the 1999 World Cup. That was slap in the middle of Kargil. If you remember, that was when Kargil was going on, the entire Kargil campaign. So the point of it is, I'm not asking a single Indian to accept Pakistan's point of view or anything. I'm just asking them to be smart tactically about our nation's ambitions as a whole, as opposed to just looking at it and saying that this match will hurt Pakistan. I totally agree with you. Not playing the Asia Cup, India is a big enough force in the ICC to be not in the Asian Cricket Council, that not playing the Asia Cup will make a difference. But the point is, as a nation, you have to have a consistent stand to sport. And for better or for worse, the stand that India has taken at this point in time is, we will face you in multilateral tournaments because that's about playing for India. We will not play bilateral tournaments with you in any sport and encourage your game. It's a stand that at least can be justified to the Commonwealth Games, the International Olympic organizations, and everyone saying, this is how we're looking at it. There's a certain basic principle to it. And that's all at this point in time. I'm not, as I said, at all condoning what has happened. And I totally agree with you. This is not the decision of the players. I don't even think it's a decision of the BCCI, because finally it is the government that has to give a agreement whether they want to play or not. And without the government's approval, it won't happen. So let's not even put it on the BCCI, because it's not even the BCCI who can make this decision. And finally, at the end of the day, I think that's what you've got to look at. How does it tactically help Indian sport? In the larger picture, Indian sport is important, and Indian sport will not end with one Asian Games or one Asian Cricket Championships. There's a Commonwealth Games, there's the Olympics. We have many ambitions as a sporting nation. Let's do stuff which makes sense for us instead of reacting in a knee-jerk way to this. That's all I'm saying. And I have, as I said, no other skin in the game.
Okay, so a couple of recaps there. Finally, this has to be the government's decision. There has to be a consistent policy. That policy at the moment seems to be, we will not play Pakistan bilaterally in any sport, but we do have to take them on multilaterally. And whatever we do, we've got to be smart, tactical about it. So in the end, it doesn't come to rebound and hit us, because that's surely the opposite of the goal. Yashovardhan Azad, it's a far cry from the time that you were tasked with providing security to Indian players in Pakistan to this moment when your own comments on X reflect that you don't believe this match should have happened. You heard what Joy said. What do you make of that? Go ahead.
I respect Joy for his writings and his comments most of the times. And even in this, there are quite a few things which he says I'm totally in agreement with him. The only thing is, I don't think we should look at this match from how it helps Indian sport. I would say, how does it help the cause of India? I think that's more important right now. Because let me tell you, the conflict with Pakistan and India, between these two countries, is totally different from any other. You know, it's like we've been fighting since our births, and it's still there. Now, I agree with Joy when he says that we should have a consistent stand. अगर आपको क्रिकेट खेलना है तो ठीक है, ये तो मैन टू मैन है, पाकिस्तानी टीम और हम खेल रहे हैं. आर्टिस्ट में क्या समस्या है आपको? As it is, Pakistani plays are happening over here. My whole family is watching the Pakistani plays. So why have other problems with Dosan? Why have problems with anybody? If somebody is, going to you entertain Pakistani artists also. My issue here is that, yes, in '99, the Pakistani team was here, and I was escorting the Pakistani team because there was a threat of security. Okay, the political issues were less. There were more issues why we are playing there, and Shiv Sena had objected. In 2003, the security situation was even more grave. Lashkar-e-Taiba, all the units were hitting. In fact, India was alive with hits. The Parliament was hit. And yet, Vajpayee said that he was on a peace mission, and he asked me to go first to Pakistan and see whether the conditions were all right to have a tour again in 15 years. So what I'm saying now is that today, when you are saying that Operation Sindoor is on, when you are saying that the war is still not ended, what is the necessity of having this match? Number one. Number two. What is the importance of Asia Cup? I'm sorry, let me be frank. There are third-rate players, third-rate teams, which don't mean anything. And even Pakistan is no longer in our league. I don't feel like watching a Pakistan match. I rather watch an India-Australia or India-England or India-New Zealand abroad. So there's a lot of difference. The other thing is a very important point made by Joy. What did he say? He said that when apartheid was there, the entire pressure of the world kind of forced the nations not to play against South Africa, right? What I'm saying is, what do you lose by not playing? Today, by the way, India is one of the richest. They hate us for our riches. The BCCI, they say India manages to organize everything. Now, India earns the maximum by the IPL and the other players gain maximum. So everyone has a stake coming to India.
But can I ask you a question? If you take the view that the Asia Cup is useless, redundant, chhod do usko, I think what Joy is saying is that then going forward, you'll have to have that principle as long as Operation Sindoor is on and not declared over. You'll have to have that principle for other multilateral tournaments also which involve Pakistan.
That's exactly what I'm coming to. How does it matter if you don't play cricket in Olympics? How does it matter if you don't play one of these World Cups? You know why?
Because but what about other sport? What about the example he gave?
No, I'm talking about cricket because cricket makes a difference. Cricket, sort of stirs the entire world, Australia, England, New Zealand, which are very, very powerful. Suppose you leave a couple of World Cup matches, suppose you leave a couple of all these Olympics matches, there'll be a tremendous pressure. And yet all these players will be coming for your IPL, play all the bilaterals. That is how you'll put the pressure on the entire world. Barkha, how does it sound to you that, the flood money in Pakistan is being used again to build the LAT headquarters and again that Jaish-e-Mohammed
I want to say personally, I do not believe this match should have happened, and I think my opinion is on record on shows, on Twitter, everywhere. But I am willing to engage with the complexity of the thoughts put forth here that, kab tak, kis tournament mein, kis sport mein, and agar khelte ho, to what should be your conduct? You have a line there? Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Last point. And that is why I'm saying be consistent. For 1 year, sustain this. And the entire world will come behind you because all the time, everyone is not doing anything to Pakistan. But if you do it through your might and you're mightiest in cricket, the entire world will revolve around you. At least give a chance to yourself. Otherwise, why are you to play everything, call the artists, have a consistent
my view is either declare Operation Sindoor has achieved its goals. We are no longer in a state of war with Pakistan. And we can therefore look at some sort of multilateral engagement. It's too soon for bilateral because we have concerns about terrorism. But if Operation Sindoor is not over, I don't understand this. This is my personal view. However, Tehseen, you were wanting to come in, and then I actually want to play out a statement from a Pahalgam victim. But go ahead, Tehseen.
I again, like Azad ji, I again have a lot of respect for what Joy said, and I understand where cricket analysts like him are coming from. But Joy, let me begin by telling you something personal. You've never made a comment that breaks somebody's mosque or breaks somebody's gurudwara. Their analysts talk that. But let me come to the larger substantial issues from where Azad sir left. Let me start from there. Number one, India has in the past boycotted the Asia Cup. This was when Sri Lanka we had terror issues. We did boycott it. Since then, in the 80s, when late martyr Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was Prime Minister, India's only gone in strength. Second, this idea of 2036 Olympics. Are we serious that the world in 2036 will not give the world's third largest country and third largest economy the Olympics because it said that in an Asia Cup, which is a tucha tournament, we refuse to play a country that wants to nuke us? 1 second, they want to nuke us. The third question, why not other countries? Because we should be consistent. Why not China? We have problems with China. China doesn't want to enslave our women. China doesn't want to nuke us. In fact, at this moment, disengagement is over with China. We're talking about now de-escalation with China. Right?
But China supported Pakistan in this war.
2000%. But their sports persons are not talking about their army picking up our women, and they're not talking about nuking us. On the face of it, they're talking of peace. The PCB chief is talking about nuking us. There's a difference. Now let me come to the next issue out here. The Asia Cup, BCCI doesn't make money. This money has gone to the small federations, and Pakistan ended up making 35 crore rupees. And as Azad Saab said, this money is going to be used. Every ball played is potentially a bullet fired at India. That is the problem. The problem is that they look at this as war. They don't look at it as sports. That is the problem. We can't engage with them. In 99, 2008, 2003, whatever's happened in the past. Therefore, we have a new government, a government that told us Operation Sindoor is currently going on. It's not over. And if we are in a state of war with somebody, how can we have a Tuchhasak tournament? And one last thing, how do you boycott them? Very simple. You could have had the Asia Cup without Pakistan, number one, and that money could, India's anyways 80% of the revenue comes from India. It could go to all those other federations that have to be given. You can easily, I'm not even talking about the Olympics. I understand you can't do it in the Olympics. I understand you can't even do it in an ICC World Cup. Do you know, Barkha, as I end, last year, and please check this, Azad Saab, you may also check this, India was supposed to have an ICC tour of Bangladesh. India cancelled an ICC tour of Bangladesh, saying, listen, at this moment, it's not right the way Indians are being and Hindus are being slaughtered in Bangladesh. When you can cancel an ICC tournament, you can't do it in an Asia Cup where there are no ICC states.
Let's bring in Ashwini Shahi, then Yasho and Joy. Ashwini जी, आपने कहा कि कांग्रेस को कोई हक नहीं है ये क्रिटिसाइज करने का, लेकिन मैं जब कमेंट्स देखती हूँ, हमारी ऑडियंस स्ट्रीम में भी अभी देख रही हूँ, जो बहुत ज्यादा क्रिटिसिज्म है वो बीजेपी के अपने सपोर्टर्स से आ रहा है सर. लोग इवन किरण रिजिजू सेड द सेंटिमेंट इज अंडरस्टैंडेबल. इट्स नॉट कि भावना से कोई डिसएग्री करता है.
एकदम आप सही कह रही हैं. देखिए, हम लोग आखिर भारतीय जनता पार्टी किसी दूसरे देश की पार्टी नहीं है. यहाँ हमारे अंदर भी एक जो है भावना जागृत होती है कि हमने उनके घर में घुसकर मारा और आज उनके साथ हम क्रिकेट खेलते हैं. मगर जब दूसरी तरफ आते हैं तो खेल को खेल की तरह रहने दिया जाए. कार्ति चिदम्बरम जी का भी तो बयान आपने देखा ही होगा, वो भी तो कांग्रेस के हैं. उन्होंने कहा खेल और राजनीति को एक नहीं करना चाहिए. कर्नाटक के उस कांग्रेसी मंत्री का भी बयान आपने सुना ही होगा. तो वो लोग भी तो बयान उसी तरीके का दे रहे हैं. तो भावनाओं में कोई अंतर नहीं है, क्योंकि सबके अंदर देश प्रेम है और लोगों की भावनाएं जागृत होंगी और वो होना जायज भी है और बेहतर है हिंदुस्तान के लिए, क्योंकि हम हिंदुस्तान को सर्वोपरि रखकर आगे चलना चाहते हैं. और उसी का मुजाहिरा कल जो है भारतीय कप्तान ने कल किया है, जो जवाब दिया है करारा उनको. मगर मैं देखना चाहता हूं कि सिर्फ क्रिकेट पर ये बवाल हो रहा है. शायद अमित शाह जी के बेटे जो है उसमें पदाधिकारी बड़े हैं तो हो रहा है. राजीव शुक्ला जी तो बहुत पहले से हैं, उस पर कोई बात नहीं है. लेकिन हिंदुस्तान में एशियाड की शुरुआत 1951 में होती है आजादी के बाद, और उससे हर 4 साल बाद एशियाड होता है. तो फिर हमको अब एशियाड, हमारे 65 में हमारी लड़ाई हुई, हमारी 71 में लड़ाई हुई. उसके बाद क्या एशियाड को बंद कर दिया गया, या पाकिस्तान के साथ खेलने से लोगों ने मना कर दिया, या पाकिस्तान के साथ नहीं खेले? क्योंकि मुख्य हॉकी, क्रिकेट, कबड्डी और कई खेल ऐसे होते हैं जो एशियाड में होते हैं, कॉमनवेल्थ में होता है जी, ओलंपिक में होता है. तो क्या हम लोग जो है उन सबको उन लड़ाइयों के बाद कभी मना किया कि हम नहीं खेलेंगे?
It is a valid question. अश्विनी जी, आपका क्वेश्चन जायज है, and I want to take it to Joy and Yasho. Are we talking about Asia Cup? Are we talking only about cricket? Are we talking about all sports? And I think, Joy, that's the point you've tried to raise, that there has to be some planning in your mind on how you frame policy around this, right? But you also heard Yasho's counter view that, you know, cricket is where it's at, cricket is where the eyeballs are. You heard Tehseen saying you're funding the Pakistan Cricket Board, which is a deeply, headed by a deeply political person embedded with the government who's made political comments. So, this separation of sports and politics isn't a convincing argument. Sports and politics nowhere in the world, nowhere in history have been separate. From Munich to apartheid, from Russia to Operation Sindoor, I do not see this separation between sports and politics. Joy.
I totally agree with you. There has never been a separation of sports and politics. People have used sport as their political end, to good means or to bad. The Nazis used it in 36. In Munich, in fact, the Argentinian World Cup in 78 was, propping up the Argentinian dictatorship. The point I'm not making is not about sport not being political. Sport is always political. Every sporting election is political. The point I'm trying to make is that sport, if you have to play this game, this political game of sport, we have larger and longer ambitions beyond Pakistan. We see ourselves as positioning as a sports superpower, somewhere we want to reach in 7-10 years. We have ambitions to host an Olympics. We have ambitions to really ramp up sport in India. And therefore, we have to have a very clear decision whenever we go anywhere as to what we do. So the point is that at this time, the decision is that we do not play bilateral tournaments and we only play multilateral tournaments. Because me not going and playing against Pakistan because we don't like Pakistan almost seems like I'm the one suffering. It's not they're the ones who are suffering. You're saying money is going out. But look, it's not just money.
Can I allow Tehseen a one-liner? He has an interjection moment up, and then I'll let you complete your point. Tehseen. Yeah?
No joy. I'm sorry to burst your joyful bubble. We don't want to not play Pakistan because we don't like them. Let me rephrase you, and this should happen to nobody. They want to enslave women. They want to nuke us. They hate us. Their cricket analysts want to break the Somnath Mandir with their Pakistan cricket team. That is the difference. It is not about not liking them. It is not an act of war between two countries. It's an act of enslavement, an act of humiliating us. That's why we don't want to play them. And I hope this happens to nobody's families.
Okay.
But let me remind you, pants were opened, Kalma was recited, and they were shot in the head. That is as barbaric as it gets.
This is about terrorism, not discomfort. Joy, I'll let you complete your point. Joy, yeah. Can we unmute Joy?
एक लाइन मैं भी बोल दूं तहसीन भाई के जवाब में अगर इजाजत हो तो।
अच्छा चले आप भी बोल दे फिर उसके बाद जॉय एंड
तहसीन भाई लगे हाथ कंडेम करिए जो मैंने कहा 26/11 की घटना के बाद कांग्रेस सरकार ने जो टूर्नामेंट कराया था वो गलत कराया था, वो नहीं होना चाहिए था और कांग्रेस उसके लिए क्षमा मांगती है।
Tehseen, literally this has to be the last sentence because we have to give Joy and Yasho their time. Can we unmute Tehseen, please? Yes.
Yeah, it's Joy's turn. 100%. 100%, which is why Modi ji came to government. And I'm not blaming Modi ji. Not once have I said that. You are guilty and you're getting in Jai Shine. I said children across political lines.
Okay,
you are doing it.
Okay. Tehseen and Ashwini ji, ab thoda sa waqt baki dono ko. Joy, please, sorry, complete your point. Yes.
No. My point is simple. My point is you are saying it's not a question of Pakistan is not in the same stages as economically. Pakistan is not in the same stages as in sport. In none of these cases are they even competitive. They were competitive in cricket 10 years back. That has also changed because the economics of cricket has changed and India is far ahead. Out 10 times we play Pakistan, we'll beat them 9 times out of 10. So that's not what it's about. Why am I limiting my ability to play multilateral events and do multilateral things? Because I don't want to play Pakistan. For whatever reason. I'm not saying whether they enslave women, whether they don't enslave women. Whatever the reasons, my question is I want to do what is best for Indian cricket. And I am questioning that boycotting a tournament for the sake because we don't want to play Pakistan. I'm questioning whether that is the right way.
You're saying the end goal has to be a benefit to India.
And yes, absolutely, a benefit to India and India's sport. And not playing never helps. It helps them. They might suppose we don't play this Asia Cup, they go and win this Asia Cup. They won an Asia Cup, they shouldn't have had a chance at, man. They shouldn't have had a bloody chance to win it. We beat them now, we are sorting this out. So all I'm saying is let's be smart about saying if our end objective, firstly, Pakistan is not anywhere in the same place as us. By boycotting them, we are giving them so much more importance than they deserve to get from us. Because as a nation, economically and sportingly, they are not close to us. So please don't us limit our chances because we want to react to Pakistan. That's my only point.
This is an interesting idea which I want to take to Yasho. I'm coming to you only. This idea that our ambitions, our self-image, our path, our pursuits are larger than Pakistan. Pakistan, if it were not for its support to terrorism, would today be on the margins of public attention in India. That's the truth. That is the bottom line. Pakistan, we are not in that sort of immediate aftermath of partition, right? We engage with Pakistan, we respond to Pakistan, we talk about Pakistan because of terrorism and wars that flow from terrorism. That's it. If you took that away, We do not hyphenate ourselves with Pakistan. Joy says हमारे और भी सपने हैं. Yasho, what would you say?
हमारे सपने और तो हैं, लेकिन खेल तो रहे हैं पाकिस्तान से ही. रोज उन्हीं की भाषा बोलते हैं और सब कुछ उन्हीं के बारे में बात करते हैं. मेरा ये कहना है, ऐसा बॉयकॉट नहीं करो सिर्फ एशिया कप को. मैं तो कह रहा हूँ सबको बॉयकॉट करो. क्या फर्क पड़ता है आपका? मुझे ये बताइए. हम खेल के एम्बिशन के बारे में बात करते हैं. क्या है हमारे खेल के एम्बिशन? रियलिस्टिक बनिए. अब तो बैडमिंटन में भी हम खत्म हो गए हैं. कितने मेडल हम जीतते हैं? 3 मेडल जीतते हैं ओलंपिक्स में. लेकिन अगर हम पाकिस्तान से नहीं खेलेंगे वर्ल्ड कप में, ओलंपिक्स में, इसमें तो ये मैसेज जाएगा पूरे वर्ल्ड को कि वी कैनॉट.
आप कह रहे हैं हर स्पोर्ट में बॉयकॉट करो, हर टूर्नामेंट में बॉयकॉट.
आप इसको रिजेक्ट कीजिए जब तक कि नहीं आप ऑपरेशन सिंदूर को ऑफिशियली क्लोज करते हैं. उसके बाद आप पाकिस्तान के साथ बैठ के गाना गाइए, हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. लेकिन एक बात जानिए, मैं एक क्रिकेट का भक्त हूं, लेकिन सबसे ज्यादा मुझे चिढ़ इस बीसीसीआई से है, और आज से नहीं है, शुरू से है, क्योंकि ये पॉलिटिशियंस का एक हैरम बना हुआ है. दिल्ली डिस्ट्रिक्ट क्रिकेट एसोसिएशन देखिए, वहां भी एक प्यादे बैठे हैं इसके. और ये राजनीति आज से नहीं, कांग्रेस के जमाने से चली आ रही है. और ये जो भद्दी और गंदी राजनीति है, इसके चलते हम हंसने के भागीदार हैं. ये क्या मजाक है कि सूर्य कुमार यादव उनसे हाथ नहीं मिलाए और नहीं मिलाए. क्रिकेट के मैदान में हाथ तो मिलाना चाहिए. आपको खेलने कहा गया है तो आप बिल्कुल हाथ मिलाइए. लेकिन इफ यू डू हैव कंसिस्टेंट स्टैंड, boycott means boycott. Let the world understand your message. It's more important the country, not the sport.
So you are saying that we should not have played. You want a larger boycott. But if you're going to play, don't do virtue signaling or not shaking hands.
Yes.
Okay, let's play out. I was going to play out, one second, Tehseen. I was going to play out a Pahalgam victim, but I want to, on this note, play out Shoaib Akhtar, who has said that India has not shown grace because the dressing room door was shut, because the hand was not shaken. Let's play this out, because Yasho has, I think, set the cat among the pigeons. कि भाई मत खेलो, लेकिन खेलोगे तो don't make a big song and dance about the fact that you didn't shake hands. Yasho, you're saying something? Sorry, Yasho? I can't hear Yasho. Sorry, hang on. Ab bolo.
You know, this is a kind of a tamasha. I mean, you're playing a match, he's raising your hand. What is there in not shaking hand? Are you giving any signal? It doesn't mean anything. You've been asked to play a match, so play like a player.
Okay, so let's look at some of the reactions coming in from Pakistan. Very irate. Pakistan is officially, the reason I'm discussing this is not to platform what Pakistan is saying, but because Pakistan has officially complained about this. This is now an official complaint. So take a look. Shoaib Akhtar.
I'm speechless, and obviously, you know, it is heartening. Don't know what to say. But you know, hats off to India. Well done. और बस इसको यार political ना बनाओ. इस मैच क्रिकेट मैच हो रहा है. क्रिकेट मैच political ना करो यार. हम अच्छी बातें आपके लिए कर रहे हैं ना. बैठे हुए ना. हमने कोई political statement दिया आपके लिए. So हम बड़ा कुछ कह सकते हैं. लेकिन इसको यार हैंडशेक कर लो. मैंने मैच के आपको प्री मैच में भी कहा था. कर लो हैंडशेक. कोई मसला नहीं. गेम ऑफ क्रिकेट है. Show your grace. It's okay. होती रहती हैं. ठीक है. लड़ाई झगड़े घरों में हो जाते हैं. कोई मसला नहीं. ठीक है. इसका ये मतलब तो नहीं है. You take it to the next level and to, you know, not to shake hands and just go like this. मुझसे नहीं होता यार. I will go shake my hands with my enemies. That's fine. So, but इसको political मत बनाओ यार. इसका गेम रहने दो. I don't like the post match ceremony, I'll be honest with you. ठीक किया सलमान यागा ने. ठीक है, वो नहीं गया प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस. ठीक किया उसने. Good.
Okay, so he's talking about Pakistan's cricket captain not going for the post-match ceremony, and he's of course trivializing, I think, what's at stake or what Indians are feeling. But Tehseen, I want you to pick up what Yashovardhan is saying. Yashovardhan is not saying the match should have been played. He's saying if you're going to play the match, don't make a song and dance out of not shaking hands. I don't know what you think.
So I disagree with that. I think that, but I agree with the fact that the match should not have been played completely. Yeah. So that we both are on the same page. The optics, I agree. But you know, what Azad sir is saying is, you can be pregnant or not pregnant. This is half pregnancy and it doesn't exist. So I agree with sir. But may I make another point of this whole song and dance? Look, Joy said, where all can we show our clout? Then Joy says, and again, Joy, sorry, I don't mean to target you. I'm just saying what you're saying. You're saying, look, Pakistan is nowhere in comparison to us. They're not even a good team. They're a bad team. No, we will win the Asia Cup. तो जिस टूर्नामेंट का कोई मतलब ही नहीं है भाई, आप जाकर क्यों खेलते, अपने आप को शाबाशी दे रहे हो भाई, हम जीत गए, हम जीत गए, हम जीत गए. Look, I understand. I'm practical. You can't do this in the Olympics. I get that. But जहां पर आप दादा हो, वो उनको पैसे मिल रहे हैं आपकी वजह से. कल उनको 35 करोड़ रुपए मिले, भाई वहां तो मत खेलो ना आप. वहां तो अपनी औकात दिखाओ, इनको मारो टप्पूर, बोलो बाहर रखो इन लोगों को. वहां पर भी आप कह रहे हो हम जीते. Who are we showing off in front of? That is our problem. People are hurt, Joy.
Yeah. What did you think, though, of Surya Kumar Yadav's not shaking hands and his comments after the match and the dressing room door being shut?
This is done for optics. The BCCI was stunned with the kind of feedback they got. I had an ex-chief minister call me. I won't tell you from which political party, but wasn't
just
the
tell
BJP.
Just tell us which state.
Wasn't the BJP.
Just tell us which state, and then we'll know who called you.
No. Wasn't the BJP. And said, "ये सब क्यों कर? आप क्यों कर रहे हो ये सब?" The BCCI is rattled because what the BCCI did not envisage was one, this social media boycott. Look, none of us, Azad sir, me, none of us had money, influence, politicians. All of us just stood up and it was the voice of the country. Number two, the stadium was half empty. But number three, if you see the comments now, people are hating BCCI for becoming a nepotistic club across party lines of VVIP brats. Tell me honestly, I'm not making this political. Why is Jyotiraditya Scindia's son in BCCI? Ask me. Why is he Madhya Pradesh? What is his contribution? Why is Sharad Pawar's son there? Nephew there, Rohit Pawar. What is Rohit Pawar's contribution? Why was Vaibhav Gehlot there? Is Vaibhav Gehlot some all-rounder? That is the problem. This has become a den for nepotistic kids and political parents. And that's the problem. You know, you took one Congress MP's name. You know why that Congress MP said it? He's the head of the tennis... sorry, Ashwini ji said. He's the head of the tennis federation. What is his tennis contribution? He can play tennis. So the problem is all of, and he's also a nepotistic child, by the way.
You're talking about Karthi Chidambaram.
And a friend of mine. So all of them are there. All of them are there because Papa is a big person. All of them are Papa's little boys who take Papa's MP chair, come in federation. That's the problem. When will we see merit? Why is it controlled by these people? That anger is real. BCCI is stunned with this anger.
Okay, so you are saying that what happened on the field in terms of Surya's comments and his not shaking hands was a kind of damage control moment. In response to the public anger. I want reactions to this. Yasho, Joy, and then Ashwini ji. Yasho, I'll start with you.
I totally agree. I mean, this was a kind of a reparation, kind of a band-aid solution to what had happened. And let me tell you, I don't think they imagined this kind of an opposition would be there. No one wants to play Pakistan. Forget it. And I've got many Pakistani players as friends, very, very close friends. But this is something, about the nation, about the country. It's not about sport even. India has to send a message, and this message will not come by saying we'll play this and we will not play bilateral and multilateral. Ban or within. Try and stand firm to your argument for 1 full year and see, then something will happen.
And you were not impressed by Surya Kumar Yadav's no handshake?
No, not at all. I think it's pure optics. Nothing.
Joy, and then Ashwini ji. Joy?
Whatever Surya did was something that the government, the BCCI would have told him that this is the official line, this is what we want to do. I don't think any player from the Indian team would not do something which has been a mandate from the government or from the BCCI specifically. So he was not taking an individual decision in it, definitely. And again, as I said, we are never going to go ahead. And look, it's a point of view, and I respect the emotions on the other side. But we are never going to get anywhere in sport if our prime objective is about Pakistan. We are far ahead of that, and we are far better than that. You may say that why not then not play the Asia Cup and play them in other places? True, but the point of it is then it's a question of saying either we take a consistent stand or we don't. Our consistent stand was we will not basically play them. In fact, if you remember the history, this year the Champions Trophy was supposed to be held in Pakistan. We refused to play in Pakistan. The Champions Trophy was therefore moved to Dubai, and it was moved outside, and we played there and we won. So it's not as if we also listened all the time. When it came to going to Pakistan to play, we also put our foot down and said
but Yasho is saying 1 year across the board, just don't play Pakistan in anything.
So my point is, then let the government take a decision like that. I think it will impact Indian sport. For that one guy who in this year could have made his career, let me tell you one thing. Ask Vijay Amritraj, ask Ramesh Krishnan, ask the players who were ready in 1974 to win the Davis Cup for India, which we had a very good chance against South Africa. Ask them whether it was an opportunity missed to bring. Everybody's forgotten about that incident, but India would have been a Davis Cup winner in 74, which we've never won after that. We've reached the finals twice, we've never won. So all I'm saying is be clear about what you want. If that is what the government wants, so be it. I think they've come upon a policy which, good or bad, that they're following. No bilateral, we'll play in multilateral, because multilateral is not about Pakistan, it's about India's sport in the future. That's my point.
Okay.
That's all.
Fair. I think there are two views emerging in this show before I come to Ashwini ji. One is, don't play them at all till this war is declared over. Don't play them multilaterally, bilaterally. And the other view, which is primarily, I think, Joy's, maybe Ashwini ji's also, this is a cogent policy. We will not play Pakistan bilaterally, but we will play them multilaterally, because don't do anything that will hurt the interests of India's sporting aspirants in the end without really hurting Pakistan. Ashwini ji, आप क्या कहेंगे? अश्विनी जी
जी वो उधर से म्यूट हो गया जी।
हाँ जी।
देखिए, मेरा कहना यह है कि कल का एपिसोड हुआ है, बीसीसीआई और सरकार ने क्या कहा है उसकी बहुत चर्चा हो गई, मगर आपके सवाल सूर्य कुमार यादव को लेकर कई बार आए, और उसके लिए मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि सूर्य कुमार यादव के नेतृत्व में भारतीय टीम ने एक अपनी खेल भावना को दिखाते हुए खेल खेला, और देश भावना दिखाते हुए उन लोगों ने एक अपने गुस्से का भी इजहार किया कि हमारे देश से आपकी लड़ाई चल रही है, उसका भी इजहार किया। तो ये सराहनीय है, इसको कहीं भी इसमें जो है कोई गलती नहीं है, और भावना अपनी अपनी अलग है। जैसे अब यशो जी नाराज हैं तो अच्छी बात है, वो उनकी भावना है, उसका मैं विरोध भी नहीं करता हूं, क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान में रहने वाला हर व्यक्ति देशभक्ति से ओतप्रोत है और किसी के ऊपर हमें कोई सवाल करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। मगर जो मुझे समझ में आ रहा है वो ये आ रहा है कि खेल भावना भी भारतीय टीम ने दिखाया और अपने गुस्से का इजहार भी दिखाया, तो ये ज्यादा बेहतर हुआ है उस खेल के ग्राउंड पर, और एक अच्छा मैसेज पाकिस्तान को गया है जी।
I'm going to take last comments. I'll take one quickly from Joy, 30-seconder, and then I want to play out a comment from a Pahalgam victim and take last comments from all of you. Joy, go ahead. Your last thought.
Nothing. There's nothing which can replace what has happened in Pahalgam. Yeah. But India not playing Pakistan here or not playing Pakistan in multilateral events is not going to change that. Let not one sin create a situation where others will suffer. I think we have far bigger ambitions and we have to look at that as well. And I think not looking at that is unfair on Indian sport, and we have a future in Indian sport. Let's not compromise that dream. That's it.
Thanks, Joy. We'll let you go because I know you have to hop on to another call. Quick last comments from everybody else in just a moment. This is Aishanya Dwivedi speaking to me earlier, a new bride, newly widowed, when her husband Shubham was killed. She's speaking along with Asavri Jagdale, whose father was shot dead in Pahalgam, and this is what they had to say. Take a look.
And then BCCI comes up and accept the match with India-Pakistan. Why? I don't get this. These are the questions all the families have. It's just been 3 months and they are playing with our emotions if they are agreeing to this. It's a direct say to us if we do not care about the people who died, because the cricket comes first, the sports comes first. What kind of a sportsmanship gives you the right to put sports above a person's life, a national person's life? It's your own country. You're putting their life up. Their life is nothing for you. The sports come before that. What kind of thing is this? From the day I've heard this, I'm really angry on the people who took this decision.
I'm really angry with the people who took this decision. I want to get last comments. Ashwini ji, aapse shuru karungi, then Yasho, and then Tehseen. Ashwini ji.
देखिए बरखा जी, हम जो है पहलगाम के शहीदों की पत्नियों, उनके परिवारों के साथ संवेदना रखते हुए ये कहना चाहेंगे, उनकी भावना एकदम सही है, उनकी भावनाओं के साथ हैं, मगर चीजों को क्योंकि उनके ऊपर घटी है और उनके विचार आएंगे, और पूरा देश उनके साथ खड़ा है, और हिंदुस्तान की सेनाओं ने उनके बदला लेने के लिए माकूल जवाब भी दिया है। लेकिन खेल भावना की जहां तक बात है, अगर खेल पर नाराजगी है तो मैंने जैसे कहा, तो भारत को सब पर एकदम कर देना चाहिए। न एशियाड खेलेंगे, न हम कॉमनवेल्थ खेलेंगे, न ओलंपिक में जाएंगे। जहां पाकिस्तान जाएगा तो अलग थलग कौन पड़ेगा, ये भी देश को सोचना होगा कि हिंदुस्तान अपने आप को अलग थलग रखना चाहता है या विश्व के साथ आकर जो है एक मुकाबला करना चाहता है। जी
Yashovardhan Azad, I'll give you the concluding remark. You believe that it is time for an overall boycott, but I will ask you to respond to what Joy said in his closing comments. Don't do anything that will hurt the interests of Indians, aspiring sports people.
To that, my reply would be that it's more important that the nation's interest should be at heart in our strategic calculation than the Indian sport. And I'm sorry to say that there is not much that we are looking by way of achievement in Indian sport in the next 10 years at least. The most important thing is the butchery at Pahalgam has deeply not affected not only me, but the entire country. It cannot be forgotten. That's number one. And number two is, by playing against Pakistan in any kind of tournament, I'm saying forget playing. I'm saying have a consistent stand for 1 year, Barkha. Don't play, don't communicate, don't comment, don't have any contact for 1 year. Give the world a message what you stand for. You cannot stand being a neighbor of a terrorist state who has been affecting you again and again. And that is why we should not only play this cup, Asia Cup, but not play any of the multilaterals till we officially announce the closure. Okay, there is a closure. The families will get closure, and then you can do what you feel.
I have to say, I do agree with you. I do not see how we can be in a state of war and engage, in cricket or any other sport. But we leave it there. Emotions have run high in this program and across the country. I will, therefore, on a lighter note, because I think we all need it, end with one Pakistani fan who really wants India to boycott Pakistan, because he said उसी तरह हम फाइनल पहुंच सकते हैं, नहीं तो हमारा तो कोई चांस ही नहीं है. So I will say thank you to Ashwini ji, to Yasho, to Tehseen and to Joy before, and leave you with this little snippet that will finally bring a smile to your face no matter which side of the divide you're on. Take a look.
As a Pakistani fan, I request to India, please boycott next match because we want to qualify for the finals. Please boycott next match so we will get 2 points. Thank you.
वो सीनियर वाला मैच में हुआ था ना, रिटायर्ड प्लेयर,
हाँ, लेजेंड लीग में, बिल्कुल. क्योंकि ये जो हमारी टीम है, ये तो अफगानिस्तान से नहीं जीत सकती है. हम आप बस रिक्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं इंडिया से, प्लीज बाइकआउट करें नेक्स्ट मैच का. और हम
फाइनल में हारोगे ज्यादा तो
खैर फाइनल में पहुंचने की तो खुशी ले लेना, फिर बाद में देख लेंगे.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.